Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal and the 20th anniversary update is here. And with that, we get a brand new opportunity to earn some brand new rewards during the patch 11.05 update. However, I did say we get to earn these rewards, not just get them directly, unlike all the other previous anniversary updates where you just get rewards just for logging into the game. This time around, you actually have to work towards them. Anything from the tier 2 transmogs available at the new vendors, as well as all of the new goodies and items, and even older rewards from older previous anniversary events. But the biggest one that's available for this 20th anniversary is a brand new mount of the Coldflame Tempest, which isn't just given out to players. Instead, you have to complete a series of achievements in order to be able to unlock this mount for your account. And for today's video, I'm going to go over a guide on exactly all of the achievements you need to complete in order to be able to unlock the meta achievement that unlocks the Coldflame Tempest mounts to add to your collection for this year's 20th anniversary. As always, if you want to see more guides for the War Within expansion, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. What I noticed for this year's anniversary event is the fact that you have to earn a lot of the rewards this time around. Normally, they just kind of like handed out to you just for logging in during the anniversary event, but this time around, you have to get all the tokens, then you can buy your transmog and buy all the other goodies, and even the 20th anniversary mount needs to be earned through an achievement. However, the previously data mined version of this achievement did have a lot more activities included as part of the actual meta achievement that's needed for the mount itself, but it looks like they took out a lot of those different activities, like having to do dungeons or having to complete the entire raid of the BRD. So now we're left with a cool 20 years achievement, which has majority of the easy to do activities for you to complete in order to be able to unlock your Coldflame Tempest mount. Now, 3 of the achievements required for the meta achievement has to do with the events that are available for you to interact with outside of the Caverns of Time. The first achievement being I Have That One, which is a Mount Mania achievement. And all you have to do for this achievement is match a single mount during the Mount Mania event. Abigail at the front of the stage is going to mount up on a random amount of her choice. And if you have that mount as part of your collection, all you need to do is match her mount once to get the achievement, which is fairly easy to do. Now, sometimes Abigail does mount up on some rare mounts like the Gladiator mount that she did the other day, but she does also go through a lot of the common mounts that players can get, like any of the dragon mounts from dragon riding back in Dragonflight, for instance, as well as some of the easier to obtain mounts from open world content, as well as certain vendors. And you don't necessarily have to complete the entire Mount Mania activity in order to be able to unlock the achievement. If you're just trying to get your Coldflame mount, just match a single mount and you can move on and you're good to go. But I really do think this is probably one of my favorite activities for the Caverns of Time, and it's always fun to see how many mounts you have in your collection and if you can match the most. Now, the next part of the achievement is going to be Fashion Critic, where all you need to do is cast a single vote at the Fashion Frenzy. Fashion Frenzy is kind of like the Trial of Style transmog competition, but at a much faster pace, where players will get to dress up based on the theme of the competition, and then other players vote for which mogs they like the best. Now, when the voting begins, you'll see ribbons show up on the table at the Fashion Frenzy main grounds. And once you pick up a ribbon, you'll be able to give ribbons to other players to vote for the transmogs that you like the most. So if you're just trying to complete the achievement, all you have to do is cast a single vote at literally any other player hanging out in the Fashion Frenzy area. So participation for this event also isn't really necessary, but personally, I always enjoy doing the transmog competitions all the way through. Now, the next achievement is going to be Pet Mischief, which is incredibly easy. All you have to do is pet disguise to look like one of your pets to explore the main grounds of the Caverns of Time. And all you have to do is go to the main pet menagerie area, walk up to this chest, and pick up a pet mirror. Afterwards, summon your favorite pet of choice, and then use the mirror on the pet. And that's it. And that's all you have to do in order to obtain the Pet Mischief achievement. The next achievement is called The Balloonist, where all you have to do is ride one celebration balloon. Those balloons up in the sky, up in the air, they're not just for show. You can actually ride them. If you get close enough, right-click them, and then your character is stuck riding the balloon. There's actually another achievement for riding 4 types of balloons through 4 different courses, I guess. But all you have to do is ride the balloon for the entirety of the actual flight. It takes at most 15 seconds. But once you ride the balloon, you get the achievement. The next achievement is called Peanut Gallery, and it deals with a story time event with Warlocker Cho. And to get this achievement, all you have to do is hang around the main grounds where Cho is telling some stories, and then use the extra action button when it becomes available to react to those stories. Anything from cheers, faction salutes, as well as throwing tomatoes at Cthulhu, otherwise known as Big Artichoke, all of those activities count towards you reacting towards Cho's stories. However, you do have to react 50 times, and every single time this event is out, you get to react maybe between like 5 to 8 times per story, unless you get the events where you get to throw tomatoes either at Cthulhu or one of the Grim Totem NPCs, where every single tomato throw also counts towards that reaction achievement. So you may have to come back here to the story time a couple of times in order to be able to fully complete it. It may take you maybe a couple of hours, with the event available every 30 minutes or so. At least over for the NA realms, it seems to come by every 30 minutes. So this one is probably going to be the longest one that takes you to complete, but that's probably going to be the only lengthy achievement you have to do outside of the Caverns of Time. Now, the next achievement is going to be an original. Well, all you have to do is defeat one of the original anniversary world bosses that were available ever since the anniversary events started adding world bosses into them. Some of the original world bosses are going to be Azuragos, for example, which can be found all the way in Ajara, or potentially one of the Dragons of Nightmare, like Lethon or any of the other 3 Dragons of Nightmare, which do rotate every single day where they are on a map, since there's technically 4 spawn spots for these Dragons of Nightmare. But also we have way down where the Dark Portal is in the Blasted Lands, we have Lord Kazak as well. And all you have to do is slay at least one of these world bosses. I think if you're a Horde player, the easiest one for you to access is Azuragos, because you can go back to Orgrimmar and then fly to Azuragos and you're good to go. As an Alliance player, I think somebody like Lord Kazak is pretty accessible, or maybe if the dragons, one of the Dragons of Nightmare spawns somewhere in an area like Duskwood, for example, because there is a central portal, the Twilight Grove, that is one of the places where they get spawned, so that one might be one of the easier ones for you to access. They are proper world bosses, however, so you won't be able to walk in and kill them all on your own. You will have to open up the LFG menu and then find a group for these bosses. And all I hate to do is just type in the name of the world boss, and there's a good chance somebody out there is doing them, because they are great for early starter gear for brand new characters. They have a daily lockout, and they can drop you some decent starter veteran track gear. Some of those items can actually have bonus effects, which may actually potentially even scale fairly well for a brand new character. But if anything, it's a great starter, and there's always groups doing these world bosses at all times. Now, the next achievement is going to be more world bosses. That's called the Gatecrasher, or a Gatecrasher rather. We have to defeat one of the newer world bosses that get added in the following anniversary events. So world bosses like the Doomwalker, Shaw of Anger, or Archivon, all of which can actually be slain in Tenaris. And you only have to slay one of these bosses, but for this week specifically, there's also a bonus weekly objective to slay all 3 of them to get more champion track gear. So there's a lot of players right now that are doing a full round of all 3 of them at once. But just like for the other world bosses, you'll need to find an LFG group. So just type in the name of the bosses like Doomwalker or Shaw. And there's usually plenty of players out there that are doing them not only for the veteran gear that's dropped, they also have a daily lockout, but also for the weekly as well. So there's plenty of groups at all times that are constantly doing these world bosses. Now, the final achievement to complete a cool 20 years is Codex Editor on Courage, where all you have to do is complete the scenario for the Codex of Chromie. Now, you can queue for scenario itself from Chromie directly, who can also be found on the opposite side of the Caverns of Time area, or you can queue for it through the LFG screen as well. You'll find it exactly where all the dungeons are. You'll find Codex of Chromie there as well. Codex of Chromie is kind of like a mix of between a raid or a dungeon, or like a big group dungeon type of experience, where you get to travel back to the gates of Anchorage with Chromie to fix the timelines, slaying displaced enemies like the Legion or the Scourge, act out moments in history, and eventually defeat the final boss at the end of the encounter. It really doesn't take that long to do. It's a decent source of warband gear for all of your alts, but you should also pick up Chromie's weekly quest, which awards you with additional champion track gear, which is fantastic for cashing up any of your alts. But with that, that's going to be literally everything you need to do in order to obtain your Coldflame Celebration mount for the 20th WoW anniversary. As always, I want to thank all of you so much for watching this guide, and I hope all of you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like. I would very much appreciate it. Join our Discord community if you got any more questions regarding patch 1105 or anything regarding 20th anniversary update. Probably the best place to reach me directly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.